Amos Oz presenta Non dire notte.
Don't Call It Night is a story about middle-age love and middle-age sensuality and middle-age sexuality. It's not written as a dialogue and not exactly as an inner monologue, but something in between. It is written as a solitary dialogue. Now, solitary dialogue is, I think, what most of us do most of the time when we are alone. We talk to other people who are not in the room, who happen not to be in the room. And we talk to them very convincing. This is when we are at our best. This is because nobody interrupts us in the middle of the sentence. We can say whatever we like. So we talk to other people and we explain ourselves and we justify ourselves, and we are absolutely wonderful as long as it is a solitary dialogue. Of course, when the solitary dialogue becomes a real dialogue, this is where conflict emerges. Both individuals and nations incline to prefer the solitary dialogue to the real dialogue. Now, in Don't Call It Night, there are two voices in the front and one voice in the background. The voices in the front are a man of 60, Theo, and a woman of 45, Noah. They have been partners for 8 years, and they are very different. Theo craves for peace and quiet and solitude. Noah wants action and change. This story is not related to the Israel of the CNN. It's not about Palestinians and Israelis. It's not about the settlements in the West Bank. It's not about the army, and it's not about the conflict. It's about real life. But of course, there is always the difference between the world of the CNN and the real world. Italy of the CNN is nothing but the mafia, Berlusconi, and scandals, nothing else. Israel of the CNN is West Bank, Palestinians, and ultra-Orthodox fanatics. Whereas I wrote about a provincial desert town, very provincial, very remote, and very small. I was fascinated to create this microcosm with gossip, with rumors, with small-time ideologists and philosophers, with people who know better. Everybody meets everyone in the cafe, and everybody is craving for faraway places. This human comedy fascinated me, and I painted it as well as I could paint it. This is a novel about families. I find the family the single most mysterious institution in the universe, the most paradoxical institution in the universe, the most ridiculous and funny institution in the universe, and the most tragic institution in the universe. If you ask me to tell you in one word what my entire literary work is about, one word, I will say families. If you give me 2 words, I will say unhappy families. If you give me more than 2 words, you will have to read my books, I'm afraid. However, this is a piece of chamber music. It's a domestic novel. Nevertheless, there is a meta-political dimension to this, because there is a meta-political dimension to everything. It's a book about compromises. The need to compromise in order to stay alive. I know that young idealists regard compromise as a dirty word. They think compromise is opportunistic. They think compromise is dishonest. They think compromise is somehow sneaky. Not in my vocabulary. In my vocabulary, the word compromise is synonymous to the word life. Where there is life, there are compromises. And the opposite of compromise is not integrity. And the opposite of compromise is not honesty. The opposite of compromise is fanaticism and death. So for me, compromise is a philosophy. It's a way of life, both on a family level and on a social, political, and international level. I believe in making compromises, not capitulation. When I say compromise, I don't mean turn the other cheek. I don't mean concess everything. I mean try to meet the other halfway. And believe me, I know one or two things about compromises, having been married to the same woman for 47 years now. So I am a bit of an expert on compromises. And finally, this is a novel about the great and simple things. It's about death, desire, and desolation. It's about loneliness, love, and longing. It's about a man and a woman, no longer young, who try to be too much for each other. Theo is trying to be Noah's father, elder brother, lover, little child, and prisoner. Noah is trying to be Theo's mother, little child, sister, lover, and also jailer. So it's just a man and a woman who are trying to be too much for each other for want of a child which they don't have, they will never have. Perhaps they had it and lost it. And the novel is about the loss.
Amos Oz, Non dire notte, un libro Feltrinelli.